So currently I work as a fellow on the clinical research methodology translational medicine team at Worldwide Clinical Trials. Worldwide is an example of a contract research organization, or CROs. And CROs are just companies that design, manage, and operate clinical trials for pharmaceutical and biotech companies. So on the day-to-day, my team and I, we meet with different sponsors, different companies who are interested mostly in early phase 1, phase 2 research. We review non-clinical pharmacology, toxicology, and design phase 1, the first in human studies, as well as phase 2 proof of concept clinical trials. Of course, we work on all stages, all the way through phase 4, across therapeutic areas, across modalities. So I work small molecules, biologics, antibodies, even some advanced gene therapies, which is really cool. Typical questions that I sort of ask, looking at precedent programs, looking at the literature. Big deal early on is finding your optimal dose. So maybe looking at the in vivo data from animal studies, what dose do we think we should use? How many treatment arms, how many dosages do we want to try? What's the dosing regimen? What endpoints are we measuring? Super important in the clinic, maximizing sort of scientific sort of logic with clinical meaningfulness, right? So if we measure, what does this actually mean? What are the odds that it's going to change significantly? What effect size should we expect from previously approved therapies? How soon would we expect that effect if our drug does work? And of course, as always, a little statistics. So what sample size do we think we need with that effect size, with the level of significance that we want? So still hanging on to those p-values. BME is so attractive just because it really can provide that horizontal interdisciplinary knowledge base. You sort of get to do a little bit of a lot of things, and I think that background is something that I hoped would serve me well after BME, and it has. And I think specifically to UVA BME, the opportunity to work, whether it be volunteer, whether it be a paid summer, something like that, in such a well-funded research environment in labs is something that will serve you well for the rest of your career. I think the beauty of my job is that I get to meet with a variety of clients, again, across therapeutic areas, phases of research, different treatment modalities, and just the variety that I get to see is really awesome. So I would say my team at any given time working on 50 different projects, I probably have 10 to 15 at any time too, and just sort of seeing strategically how can we advance this program versus this program? How can we differentiate from what's already on the market? And of course the cool science, right? Like the thought of this drug has been in a lab for years and now we're about to put it in a person. Let's see what happens. Let's see if it actually works. And it's super rewarding to know that, sort of see all of that hard work from the lab translate into the clinic. I think whether or not you want to work in a lab or not, you're in a great proving ground with so many resources, but figure out, everybody's trying to figure out what they like, and that's great. But oftentimes it's just as informative to figure out what you don't like, right? So you take a variety of classes and a variety of topics. If you don't like something, if it's not for you, right, don't be a complainer, but that can sort of help you narrow down what you like, what you don't like. Take that class that you might be interested in. We don't want to leave sort of anything on the table. I think impactful experience in general from UVA BME is sort of learning that you can have it all, just not all at the same time, right? So you're stuck in ideas lab, you can't go out on Thursday, or you can't go out on Friday. Maybe some days you can't even go out on Saturday either. But sort of learning how to prioritize how successful you want to be academically and maintaining that social life or your activities, your involvements, is something that serves you so well later in life. Because again, you can have everything, just not all at the same time. No matter what you do, you've got to be a little uncomfortable with things not going perfectly the first time. Just by being where you are at UVA and BME, you're an overachiever surrounded by overachievers, right? And I think It often feels competitive. Everybody's sort of trying to fake it till they make it. And I think you've got to be sort of comfortable with giving an effort, doing your best, and knowing that your best is always good enough. I would say you should always have sort of a backup plan and a backup for your backup plan, just to make sure that you're always sort of having multiple balls in the air. Not everything is going to land, but something is going to land. I think it would probably be very comforting to hear me and all of my friends. We were just joking. I actually got married a couple weeks ago, so we sort of had a BME reunion at the wedding, and we were all joking that, truthfully, we worked far harder second year, third year, maybe a little bit of fourth year in undergrad in BME than we do now. Whether it be getting a PhD, whether it be working in an industry job, working in consulting, finance, doesn't matter. We all agree that we were balancing far more stuff as a UVA undergraduate than we do as a successful professional. And I think that shows that there's a specific combination of interpersonal skills, problem solving, technical knowledge that UVA BME gives you, or maybe beats into you, right? That you have in common with your peers, that's hard to find. You can't really develop it after the fact, and it's going to give you a leg up on people sort of for the rest of your life. And I think there's always going to be a learning curve no matter what you do, but being able to look at that and say, that's not a problem. I look forward to that. I'm going to tackle it just because I learned how to learn is really important. And of course, enjoy the ride. 4 years, pressure makes diamonds. It's going to be great. And the experiences, the friendships you make are so much more important than what your GPA is, right? Nobody asked about your GPA, but it's always great to look back, have your friends, have your mentors, have those experiences, and feel that you sort of have the know-how and the wow, right? So focus on those soft skills. It's a great environment, a great opportunity. Best of luck.